Hi TechWork, it's Natalie from Circuit Recruitment here. Merry early Christmas to you all. I have a little Christmas gift for you in the form of a new installment of Landing a Job 101. In this series, I will be sharing one tip per video, taking you slowly through the whole process involved with landing yourself a new role. Now, in my previous video, which was a little while ago, I talked about what to ask interviewers at the very end of your interview. So if you want to go and explore a little bit more about how to do that, you can visit my YouTube channel. I will be linking that in the description of this video, and there you can view many more episodes of this series. Now, in today's video, I'm going to cover off how to modify your CV for a job in order to optimize your chances of landing an interview with your target company. Now, I get people asking me all the time whether you need to modify your CV for a job where you're applying. Now, the answer is most definitely yes. I know that this can be a really time-consuming process, especially when it comes to, and it doesn't always feel worth your while, especially when lots of companies these days are simply sending out automated rejection responses. It really sucks when you put a lot of time and energy and effort into your application, only to get an email saying, sorry, but you're not being considered for the role. However, I do just want you guys to know that that's a little bit of a symptom of the market at the moment. And when things start to normalize next year, which we really are hoping it will, you'll find a lot more yield when it comes to personalizing your CV for the right JD. And just because this sort of thing is happening a lot more often these days, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be personalizing your CV. It just means that you should do it really efficiently so that it's not this massive mammoth task every time you apply. Now, the first tip that I have for you is to get you thinking like a recruiter, because if you want to impress a recruiter, you have to think like one. Now, think about it this way. When we are looking at CVs, we are usually using our brain like a command find filter. Our minds are constantly scanning your CV for the right skills that will match the JD that we're hiring for. So in our head, we do like a command find function, and we look for the keywords that are in the JD that we're working off of. That way we're making sure that we're only calling candidates who are relevant to the role that we're working on. Now, for example, if I'm looking for a Java engineer and you've applied for the Java engineer role, if your CV doesn't light up like a Christmas tree when I type Java into that search bar, it's very unlikely that you're going to get a call from me. So start thinking like us. Look at your CV and ask yourself, if the person screening this was to look at my CV and do a keyword search, would my CV light up like a Christmas tree, or would I leave them wondering why the hell I even applied? Now, my second tip has to do with the brag documents that I asked you guys to think about in one of my previous videos. If you haven't seen that video, then you should definitely check it out in my YouTube channel. It'll probably have a link in the caption of this video. So go and check out episode 21. For those of you who haven't seen that video, a brag document is basically a doc that you're going to use to keep track of all of your achievements and accolades. This document is where you have tangible examples of where you've thrived in your current role, where you're going to describe some of the things that you've done to bring your projects to fruition and how you've managed to do it. Now, the challenge that you have ahead of you when you look at a fresh JD is to try and look at the job you're applying for and think to yourself, which examples should you take from your brag document and apply them to your CV? Now, the challenge that you have ahead of you is to now look at that JD and try and think about what examples you've put in the brag document that will apply to the areas of the JD that you show you have experience in. Then it's just a matter of taking those examples and making sure they're included in your CV. Now, this might take a little bit of time at first, and building a brag document definitely takes a bit of time at first. But if you put in that hard work at the very start of your search, you'll be able to reference this again and again. Once you've drawn those parallels between the JDs that you're applying for and the points that you need to add to your CV in order to get that screening interview, you can reuse those dot points that you've used from the brag document again and again across multiple roles that you apply for. This makes it a much more efficient way of you personalizing your CV for each role. You don't have to go and rewrite all of the dot points underneath your experience every single time you're applying for a new job. It should take you a couple of seconds to choose which dot points you want to take from your brag document and apply it to your CV. And that way you really make sure that the dot points underneath your experience help you nail the brief. In this age of AI, where people are using bots to apply for lots of jobs at a time and bots to screen CVs for lots of candidates at a time, it's actually more important than ever to make sure that your CV matches the job description properly. If you do this, then you'll increase your chances of landing that new role. Let me know if there's anything I've missed in the comments below, because I'm really interested to hear what your ideas are around personalizing your CV for a certain JD. And you can view the rest of my videos in this series on my YouTube channel that will be linked in the video's description. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time. Bye.